You are entering the cosmos.
Hazzard, what the hell was that dancing cookie man?
You know what made my whole week, General, was seeing you in the green room. Your reaction, which I got to see, was priceless. It was the most joy I've ever seen in the General. And it's absolutely appropriate because it is a big monster. Or maybe a little monster. We don't know. He looks kind of big.
It's a gingerbread man.
And
he's busting a move on my show.
Do you think that you could imitate his little... He's got the moves,
No.
you know. I think you could do it. I was imagining you doing yes. Wait, I'm gonna put you, we're gonna highlight you for that. There you go. You look just like him.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
No, I don't.
You look well.
I have no gingerbread on me at all.
Well,
no gummy drops.
That. Only when you did that.
I want to dunk him in this peach tea now.
Oh, okay, that's right. But he was busting a move, and he has the rhythm. The music is in him.
I didn't hear any music. I just saw him dancing.
There's music. There's like a beat. There's like a bass line. And
well, that would have been nice, I think, if I, but no, I didn't hear it. I just watched him dance. I'm like,
no. There's a whole song. It's like a little groovy song going on. We'll talk to Ruby.
Oh, it's groovy.
We'll talk to Groovy Ruby when she comes on. It's actually not. It's Rowdy Ruby. I should call her Rowdy Ruby. That's who's on the show today. Isn't that exciting? We have Ruby Rae Moore here, and I think he's doing his Skype just hung up, so he's excited. It's just that you can't see that he was excited. There he is. He's coming back. Yeah, you were great. Yeah, you were doing Skype. You were doing Skype face, General.
No, What I saw was both of our screens went black, and there was a little swirly thing going on in the middle there.
Yeah.
So you couldn't hear me when I said, "Well, what did I go?"
I didn't hear you at all, but I wish I did. We were talking about our tea, and you did present your peach tea, which everybody
we said that we're going to call Rowdy Ruby. Rowdy Ruby is here.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about a beloved film that everybody's seen. I bet you everybody here has seen this training film.
Yeah, and let me introduce. This is General Howitzer's Big Monster Briefing Room, and in our show we do spoilers. I mean, we do the entire movie from beginning to end. We do a timeline, which is a slideshow throughout the movie. And again, they're in these movies. Some of them are rated PG-13. Some of them are rated R. There's gory stuff. There's adult situations. There's Jobeth Williams with her panties. You'll see that in a little bit. So I just want to warn you ahead of time, this show is not for kids. It's for horror training film enthusiasts. and this show is no exception, because we're going to do Poltergeist, which is directed by one of the top horror movie directors, Mr. Tobe Hooper, for Mr. Steven Spielberg. And usually Ruby Rae Moore comes on when we do Stephen King films. But she really, really likes this film and identified with it. So she said, "Hey, if you do that one, can you have me on?" So we always love to have her on. So yeah, let's bring her up. There she is.
I love how I identify with Poltergeist. I do identify.
You identify.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So, and you look kind of like Jobeth Williams.
Oh, thank you.
So there you are.
Oh.
So
now,
yeah, this film has got a special place in your heart, and you got that ponytail going.
I mean, Jobeth Williams. I got I got really flattered.
No, I did see a definite, you look like her sometimes.
Well, shit,
So,
take it.
and as a mom in this film, she's pretty cool.
I always wanted to be a mom just like her.
Yeah, and Craig T. Nelson as a dad is pretty cool in this. And they made other movies. They came back as parents for the second one.
They did.
With the really, really creepy Reverend Kane guy.
Reverend Kane, God
Because
is.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
You're gonna die in there. So anyway, we're not gonna go in that tonight, but or this show, I should say, because some people watch it in the morning. So I got to be careful with that on social media when I say, oh, tonight or this evening or Anyway, I digress. This is as ghost movies go, this one is pretty much the creme de la creme. It's a really good ghost movie.
It is. It's got a great story.
Mm-hmm. And interesting characters. And the ghosts are pretty gnarly.
That's right. And then there's also kind of like urban legend folklore that surrounds the aftermath of the movie.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that comes up in the second movie. They don't really explain fully what the hell's going on here in this movie.
Right.
I mean, the only thing you get is Craig T. Nelson going, "You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies."
Exactly.
That's all you get. And that's all you get. But it isn't until the second movie that you find out, oh, Reverend Kane was keeping a bunch of souls, and he wants to get Carol Ann because he was keeping control of those souls with her spirit.
That's right.
And then we find out the whole Indian burial ground thing too. That comes into play in that one, in the second one.
It was all very confusing for me as a kid. That's another one I need to watch with adult.
Well, and again, when we do it on the show, we'll have you back.
Well, I'll have to polish up on that one. I do know the scary song that Reverend Kane sings, and I know certain facts about it, but
God is in his holy temple.
Earthly fall be silent now.
Yeah. Now this one has a song by Jerry Goldsmith, who was a major composer for Hollywood in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And he would from time to time do like a Spielberg kind of thing. At the end of this film, it's got children singing la la la
Yes.
la 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 la.
Yes. General.
It gets in your head and won't get out.
It's actually one of the
I'll
first
be singing that for the rest of the night.
It's one of the first songs I learned on my ukulele. There's actually chord structure for it. And yeah.
You're going to play that now, aren't you? This thing will be in my head for a week.
I'm not prepared, but that song is like notable and learnable and so fun to
la 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 la.
right?
Okay.
You would know every note of it, right?
Again, it gets stuck in there.
It does. And it's a beautiful score. It's a beautiful song with the strings and
But you're hearing it, as the camera's panning away from a Holiday Inn,
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
As they set television outside of the room,
yes.
Television is supposedly what started it all.
And I would like to refer to that as Carol Ann's theme because she's such a doll.
That's actually what it's called. When I looked it up, it was called.
Is it?
Theme, yeah.
Oh, too funny.
How about that?
Nailed that one.
You did.
Okay, so let's get to our timeline because we're already 10 minutes in the show now. It is a Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, which is a surprise because Steven Spielberg usually works with Universal Studios or Paramount. But for some reason, in this case, it's MGM. And Tobe Hooper directed. And of course, we come right out of the gate with the problem in this movie, the goddamn Sony TV.
Oh, but I love that banister. Look at it going up. It's such a groovy banister.
Yeah, that twisty it's kind of weird even before weird stuff happens in the house. Yeah. And there's little Carol Ann coming downstairs to talk to the TV.
Step by step, yes. And she's answering it. No. Okay. Little answers like that. You can't really, I always listen really hard, but it's kind of whispery, right?
Yeah, well, she gets loud and it wakes up everybody in the house.
Oh yeah, she's like yelling at him. I can't hear you.
There they are. Come on, you talk to me. I
Yeah.
can't hear you. I'm falling down the stairs daily. Greg, stop that. Thank you for joining us, though. So there's Craig waking up in his chair. Again, the end of the night with the national anthem is already played. Now it's just static.
Yes.
That is the problem right there. Is we're getting signals through and hands on the TV. Ah, stop that. You got a problem with this. Put the hands on the TV. Most parents will stop it right at that, right there. So this is Siesta Verde.
Yes.
Is a new,
Siesta Verde.
a new what do you want to call this?
It was Cuesta Verde.
Cuesta Verde. Cuesta. Shouldn't that be a Q? Cuesta. Siesta Verde, right?
I always thought it was Cuesta Verde.
Yes, Dr. Quest. Benton Quest, spelled with a Q. So anyway, it's supposed to be a nice little community.
Yeah, it's like a new suburb.
Yeah, a little suburb that they built. And they're like on phase 4 right now.
Yes.
And the father here, Steve, is the top seller for this actual complex. That's important.
Yes.
So Duiane, and he's watching a game with his friends, and Duiane realizes, oh my God, Carol Ann's bird's dead. Oh,
Tweety.
Why'd you have to die today? It was a Tweety, right?
Yes.
So why'd you have to die today? So she's in a problem. And these guys are having to watch Mr. Rogers intermittently because for some reason the signal to the TV with the remote is the same as his neighbor's house.
Yes. And they have a remote.
And his neighbor wants to watch his neighbor's daughter wants to watch Mr. Rogers. And the neighbor's actually played by an actor. Oh shoot, I didn't write the name down, but he's done a lot of commercials and TV.
I do recognize him. I always recognize him.
He was a character actor who's big in the 60s and the 70s. I'm sorry, 70s and 80s. So Carol Ann comes in and catches mommy about to do the burial at sea.
Which is always strange to me because a bird seems like an awfully large thing to flush down a toilet, but I digress.
Yeah, that bird is pretty big. But then again, I've squeezed some out that are much bigger than that.
Oh, Evan.
I probably shouldn't have said that, but there it goes. So anyway, Carol Ann is appalled. Come on, that's not a proper ceremony.
That's right.
We got to put him in a cigar box.
With a flower for when he gets smelly.
Because he doesn't like the smell, yes. And they put a little photograph in it. Yeah, it's a nice little ceremony outside in the garden.
When he
I think
gets
the dog digs it up right after they leave.
Yes. And then she says, "Can I get a goldfish now?"
We got that shot coming up. And Barry's up in the tree. The boy's up in the tree, and he said, "Oh, there's a storm coming." And there's the dog digging it up already. They barely turn their heads away. And and there she goes. "Can I have a goldfish?"
What a cute.
So, yeah, she's a cutie. Good God. There's like a curse that people have been saying about this film because a lot of the young people that were in this film died.
Well, the only surviving child from it is Oliver Robbins, who played the son.
Right.
Carol Ann died of, I think it was sepsis from an infection of some kind.
Right. She was on the operating table, I think.
Yeah, and Dominique Dunn died.
Was killed.
Yes,
killed by her boyfriend.
Or a boyfriend, I forget. Forget which one. I think a boyfriend, right? Like an ex-boyfriend. Yes.
And the man who played Reverend Kane in the second movie also died of AIDS. He was.
Oh no. I'm not hearing you. I'm going to try something else. Oh no. I'm not hearing you. I'm going to try something else. Uh-oh, I think it's you.
Oh no. I'm not hearing you. I'm gonna try something else.
We do realize that this stream is now haunted. Like this stream,
there's no audio for Rory.
This is literally he was just talking about the curse.
The curse.
Of, like look at this. Look at this. Please stand by while we tame the tech gremlins. What are the chances that it happened right when he mentioned that? He would want us to continue, so we will continue, but definitely that's important. I was just thinking when y'all were talking about it, please don't let anything happen. Here it goes. All right.
The tree.
There's the tree. That looks a little fake. I don't think that's a real tree. I think that's Hollywood. Just my guess. It looks identical to that. Yes, thank you. Let me put that up. Yeah, do that again. There you go.
I'm going to meet you later.
I mean,
boy.
Yes. Let's go through some. See, Gregory said, the ghost of Caroline getting you.
I know, because we didn't get her death right. She's like, you better get my death reason right.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely something going on. And, Bob saying we shouldn't have touched this movie. I feel like
no,
maybe that's true.
There now, Bob.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Month. Hopefully I make it to the end of the month.
And she looks, I mean, she's clearly happy in this picture. I don't know why, but
yeah, closet light on. Closet light, she tells her mom, and she comes back on and she puts the closet light on, and she's shutting the door. The clown tinkling clinks. It's like little bells jingle.
Yes.
And
then now this is attractive.
Oh yes.
This is like the ginger. This is just as hot as the gingerbread man that we saw.
It is. And this is how I feel like this is the kind of parents my husband and I turned out to. Like, you get the kids to bed, we goof around, stand in front of the mirror saying, before, after, and before.
Oh yeah, exactly. He does. The one on the right is pretty fit. I mean,
that's before.
I do feel, and you can tell he knows by his expression. That's pretty amazing. It is pretty amazing there. So here we go. I feel bad about continuing, but he always tells me if this happens to keep going. So we'll keep going then. There we go.
There's a storm coming,
There's a storm coming. There you go. So what is happening here, Ruby?
What's happening here, if we're at the correct spot, there's a storm coming and they're afraid. They can't sleep. He's going to get up and go to his parents' room and catch them rolling doobies and laughing and being and fornicating. Mm-hmm. And they're going to bring him back to bed, and they're going to count with him to see how far away the storm is by doing. See, there she is.
She's having fun. She's enjoying her life.
Yeah, she's living it up, man. She's living her best life, and you can't blame her. Can't blame him for that.
You can't blame. And she's even got tassels on her fancy pillows, which is like very elegant.
I know, with her brass headboard.
So she has a brass headboard. I mean, this is and her hair is feathered, and it's just absolutely luxurious.
Yeah, it's pretty much the. I don't know. I mean, I just like, if I wanted to go anywhere in the 80s, I'd just like to plop myself right down in that house.
Me too. I mean, it's like, it is the best life. I'm very proud of her she embraced herself. And and so there he comes in, and
they're
the guy's pretty happy.
Well, they're high.
The guy's happy, and the mom is like freaked out.
Yeah, they're stoned. The dad takes it as usual, like, oh, kind of and the mom's like, oh, I've got marijuana on me. In fact, Robbie.
Oh my gosh. That really is one of the best. Yeah, Gregory said, what's that smell, Mom and Dad? What is that? It smells like Dookie. That is what happened.
Yeah.
So
He says, "There's a storm coming," in his little voice.
Yeah.
So Daddy takes him back to bed, and they talk about how old that tree is, and how that tree has been looking over the house for all these years, looking over this property and the land, and that
That's
tree is
like kind of weird though, but okay. I think it's supposed to be comforting, but
Yes.
it's supposed to be comforting, but there's a way to skew that where it's a little creepy. But, oh, and so they all end up together for safety.
Yes.
Which is really a cozy thing.
Yes, because this is the whole tree incident happens the following night. Yes.
Oh, okay. So we're getting there.
The funny business. I always get a little screwed up with the timeline here, but that's
now is it the TV's added again?
Yes, this time she heads over to the TV. She gets out of bed. They're all sleeping in bed. She gets out of the bed. She crawls over to the TV, and the TV like jolts at her, right? Like lightning out of the TV into the wall behind them. And see?
There you go. Why did she have to get out of bed and meddle? Don't meddle. Children, do not meddle.
I don't know. She's fascinated by it. I can't help but think I would do the same thing.
I know, but look what happens. Curiosity is sometimes not a good thing. Look at that. And see what Gregory said about the tree. Oh, don't worry. That tree's been terrorizing the house forever. No worries. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what he was saying. Okay.
Right.
So now that's how I interpreted it too, Gregory.
Wall.
Look at that. Oh,
burns a hole in the wall or something. I don't even remember what it does. We'll find out. The dog ends up.
I really feel like they need to call the company of the television and complain. This is not how your TV is supposed to be.
No. With the box TV Zenith. But
Zenith. This is when your Zenith is not being a Zenith. That's not a good thing to do.
No, when
there a 1-800 number that they can call to customer care, something.
And here's also something that's peculiar to me. Now they don't really they don't wake up until after all this shit is like flying over their heads and into the wall behind them. Mm-hmm. You know, then they wake up, and that's when Carol Ann turns around and she says those words that are so famous.
Which is?
They're here. That's what she says.
Uh-oh, there you go. And that's when the general came back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did I miss?
Well, you missed her. You missed the television having some major malfunctions.
Yeah, the Russian spies are trying to take out my Wi-Fi. Can you see me?
We can see you.
I'm not seeing a picture here on my phone. Anyway, yes. This is the classic line, "They're here." Usually when they say that, get the hell out of the house.
Right?
You know, if a little kid says, "They're here," that means something. Get the hell out of the house. Go to the Holiday Inn. So, all right. So, yeah, and there's the spot on the wall. The dog smells it, you know.
Yes, he brings in all his toys.
Yeah, she's opened up a portal. She's opened up a portal to another, dimension of some kind. Yeah. And we can't move. There's a pool going in.
That's right.
So yeah, they're digging the pool, and Barry's cup breaks right there at the breakfast table. Yes, right in his hand as he's holding it. The whole bottom breaks up. Again, little things are just starting to happen to show them, hey, maybe you want to, this is not the Amityville horror. They're not going to tell you, get out. You just got to figure it out and get the hell out. Right. So, yeah. Yeah. They just think it's a faulty glass. Oh God, these creepy construction workers and a high school girl. And I remember which to them. Yeah, I did the flip off one. Well, first she does the Italian, the bafangu, and then she does the flip off. That's the one. Oh, can you go back to that slide for a second? I just want to point out that the guy on the right is Sonny Landham, and he's the big Indian from 48 Hours. So, just I didn't notice. I didn't remember that he was in this movie. Just in this little cameo until I watched it this week, and I was like, "Hey, that's Sonny, who wants the prostitute who's dressed like an Indian. Okay, so he was creepy in that movie too. But yeah, the greasy guy on the left, oh my gosh, he's like tasting her tomato sauce and everything.
Yes. Oh,
and she goes back into the kitchen and, hey, that's peculiar. You didn't do this, did you, dear?
Yeah.
She's up on the counter where the steak crawls.
Is this
okay?
Do they balance like this first, or is it first they're just all pushed out and she's
no, first they're all pushed out from the table, she pushes them back in, she comes back around and they're back out again,
and they're back out again,
and then she pushes them back in and she turns around for a second and she has her on the counter, and then they're like that.
Yeah.
So Steve comes home that night and she's like, hey, let me show you what's going on here. And it's like musical chairs on automatic.
Yeah. Yes.
And it works with kids too.
It does. But
what's funny is, and I don't know if you noticed, is they drew all kinds of stuff on the floor with Carol Ann's crayons.
Yes, they did.
Drew an arrow and a little circle where you can start.
Start the circle where you end. The arrows, yes.
That little detail made that very interesting for me. Anyway, I just wish I could see myself here. I'm just a gray square on my, and a black square up top.
I see. Yeah.
Well, good. So yeah, Steve is like, well, okay.
Yeah, he's very weirded out. He's very shocked.
Yeah, he's weirded out.
Definitely.
So that night, big storm again.
Yeah.
And the tree comes in the window.
Yes, to distract family.
Yeah, Barry's always, he's always the distraction when they're trying to get Carol Ann.
Yes.
So he always gets attacked first. The tree kidnaps Barry, takes him outside. The parents go outside to deal with the problem.
Yes.
There it is coming through the window.
Which is just unbelievable. What would you be thinking if you're a parent?
Dana, watch your sister.
Yes.
So, and there's the closet opening up, a new portal to hell. So that's what was meant to happen. And Carol Ann, of course, is in grave danger.
Yes, she is. And this is one of the best parts in special effects history is Carol Ann flying into the closet. I think.
That's interesting.
You have to watch it. There's at a point it's certainly not a child. It's definitely some kind of doll or mannequin. And it's connected to something the way it just kind of goes in. But
obviously it's on wires, yeah, and it goes in the closet fast. So, and naturally you don't want to do that with, Heather O'Rourke or whatever her name is. So the tree is eating Barry now.
Yes.
He's munching on him. He's in his jammies and he's going down the gullet. So his dad goes to save him. The mother's, and meanwhile inside, there we are. Is that a doll? Is that a doll?
Carol Ann!
They go looking for her and they realize she's in the TV now.
Yes, he can hear her. And all of a sudden you hear her voice.
Right.
How are you, Mommy? I can't see you.
So, she's on Channel 7. I don't know. Actually, that's the next movie we're doing. The next movie we're doing is Terror Vision, which is also about a monster in the television set. And that's always on Channel 7. Anyway, so Steve goes to the local college and talks to the paranormal psychologists.
Yes.
And these guys, haven't really seen any action yet.
No, they've seen like
kind of like the Ghostbusters. The college is like, okay.
They've seen Hot Wheels across the floor like an inch over the course of an hour and 3 days or something.
Yeah, he's excited about that. I love that scene because there it is. He gives them a look like, oh yeah, really? Oh,
here's the peek into the room of carnival horrors.
He opens the door.
And the protractor is playing the record.
And I'm telling you, the Hulk that's riding the horse was so fast I couldn't get a shot of it. I tried so hard, and then I gave up.
There's all sorts of crazy stuff that flies by them.
Yeah, there we go. The lamp that the light bulb goes into and turns on, and it's not even plugged in, and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's great. And the closet is still a portal to another dimension. We can see you, Rory, so don't pick your nose. Thank you, Greg. And definitely don't pick my nose and eat it. That would be very bad. I got that ready for Ruby because I know she likes that. Anyway,
the
fart box. So the professionals come in and they realize, okay, this is big time here. They set up a meeting so that they can call Carol Ann. And of course, they hear Carol Ann, and a bunch of stuff comes out of the ceiling, a bunch of old stuff. Now, personally, I think this is the Reverend Cain's throwing this stuff to them to get them to leave them alone. Like, look, I'll give you some money for the kid.
Yeah, here's an offering for the
Here's
child.
some watches, some cameos, some stuff. Yeah, you can go get some money for that. Yeah, let me keep the kid.
Yes.
And every time they look up that staircase, you know something's going to happen. So,
Exactly.
yes, and Carol Ann goes right through her, and she can smell her, and it's nice and
That's nice.
kind of creepy. Then Marty goes upstairs.
Right out of his side.
Something, leaves a nice big bite mark there on his side. Yeah. So yeah, it's a big nasty bite. Speaking of which, and speaking of a bite to eat, a little later when everything slows down, he goes to the kitchen to get a bite, and finds some chicken, finds a nice piece of raw steak, which he just throws down on the counter. Not sure about that. Why he did that. So it's crawling across the counter. They did a great takeoff on this in one of the not Police Academy, Naked Gun pictures.
Oh no.
Yes.
What was the
He's looking in the refrigerator to see if he can find something to eat, and everything is just like really old and nasty. And there's a steak on the counter, and it's just crawling like the one from Poltergeist. It's crawling across the counter. So he looks down, and there's maggots all over the piece of chicken he just had in his mouth. That's freaky. So he goes to the bathroom to wash his mouth out. And of course, the light in the bathroom is funky, and it's one of those heat lamps you use when you get out of the shower.
Yes.
Which is strange because this is actually a half bath downstairs. So anyway, Marty begins to start pulling pieces of his face off.
Yes. All the way down to the bone.
Yeah, all the way down from underneath his eye there to down below his neck. And then it's just
yes, and then he blinks out of it.
So let's get the next. Oh, there we go. Nice big chunks coming off there.
Yeah, and this is
and I love the blood gushing out of his neck all over the shirt too, which is nice.
Oh.
And then he flashes right out of it.
Where he's like, I better go. Not when he had something.
This is what did Marty in. I just pulled my face off.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the other room, the cameras are the automatic cameras, the ghost cameras. They're turning on. They're going to the staircase.
Yes.
He's pretty oblivious to it. He's listening to whatever he's listening to, and they capture some spirit activity. Lights, camera, action.
Yes, they all start coming down the stairs.
And by they all, you mean dozens of spirits? Yeah.
Yes, all of the souls.
Yeah, maybe hundreds even. They catch it on the camera when they do the replay. They go, "Oh my God! Look at all the spirits! Look at all the souls!
Mm-hmm.
The lost souls." That's the next slide, I believe. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are wearing hats.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, why are the hats glowing? It's like a halo. As a child, it's always. I never saw people until I was an adult.
You can dance if you want to, but leave your friends behind. And wasn't that Men in Hats? Anyway, Ghosts in Hats. There's a song. There's a title for a band. Ghosts in Hats. So it's time to send Barry off to Granny's house, Grandma's house.
Yep, in the cab with the dog.
And with the dog. And Marty's gone. He's not coming back.
No.
Seriously bitten and traumatized. And unfortunately, Mr. Teague, Steve's boss, shows up because he hasn't been coming into work. He said he's been sick. Mr. Teague thinks he's going to try to leave the company, and he's their top seller. He sold millions.
Yes.
So he doesn't want to lose Steve. So he goes out and takes Steve to see the next phase of the project.
That's
phase
right.
5, I believe it is. Maybe even phase 6. I don't know. Next phase. And he's telling Steve about it. And of course, it's next to a cemetery.
That's right. And well, what are you gonna do? He says.
Yeah, but it's okay. They've done it before. They've moved cemeteries before. And there's where we get that little nugget for the movie.
Yes.
Nice big cemetery. And there's the creepy tree. What the hell? It flew away in the storm a couple of nights before. Now it's here in the cemetery.
It's relocated itself. Yes.
There it is. So the next day, or the next evening, Marty's replaced by Miss Tangina.
Yes.
Who comes in, and she does not do trick answers.
No, she is a spiritual medium.
Mm-hmm.
And she messed around.
And I love the underlighting for the mood effect. So yeah, he's trying to send her an answer telepathically, and she's like, "I don't do trick answers."
Yes.
Knock it off, bozo. So she's pretty cool, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna get your daughter back for you. We're gonna start right away."
Yeah.
So
they start.
Of course, we're gonna get it all on camera. Yeah.
Of course.
I got a show to run.
Indeed.
Okay, so they end up going to the bedroom, and she seems to know what's going on. Unlike the previous group.
Yeah.
Although a couple of that previous group is there to help her. So they've set up a little thing where she can actually throw items into the other void, and it comes out through the ceiling downstairs.
Yes.
They've set up some kind of thing up in the ceiling. I don't know if you could see it. There's like wires and stuff in the ceiling. And again, they've created an open portal that's coming through, which is pretty cool. And she's throwing balls through that are numbered, and they're coming through. So it's working.
And riding on them. Right on the finny.
And Jobeth Williams, Diane decides she wants to go through. She's the one that wants to go and get Carol Ann. Carol Ann's going to come to her, not Tangina. She doesn't know Tangina. Yeah. And Tangina's like, "We've never done this before." And Carol Ann evidently is psychic too, because she's like, "Well, neither of you." She figures it out. So they send a rope through. And it works. The rope comes through, and it's they're gonna tie the rope around Diane and send her through, and she's gonna get Carol Ann, and they're gonna pull her through.
That's right.
Simple enough, right?
Plain and simple.
So they've secured the rope downstairs, and Steve's gonna hold the rope. He's gonna hold onto the rope. She says, "Don't let go."
He says he won't, but.
And he says, "Never." Nice little moment. I think that's the next slide. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, she says, "Don't let go. Never."
Don't let go.
Which is a nice little husband-wife kind of moment thing.
Aww.
He gets a lot of those. I tell you, there's a scene at the end of The Incredibles, the first one, where he plays not Mr. Fantastic. What the hell's his name in that?
Mr. Incredible?
Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible, yeah. Where he goes to his wife, he says, "I can't lose you again." That scene. Oh my God, what a heartbreaker. So, in a kid's cartoon.
Oh, goodness.
So he always gets those. So then Tangina starts telling all the ghosts, "Go into the light. Go in the light." And he's like, what?
In the light.
What the hell? You said don't go in the light. What?
Right? That's exactly right. She says, "Cross over, children. All shall come."
So he thinks she's double crossing. He's going to lose his wife and his daughter. They're going to go over in the light. So he pulls back on the rope, which is bad. She's like, "No, Steve, don't pull the rope."
Yep, not yet. She screams at him.
Squeaky toys.
Sorry.
And of course he pulls back, a huge demon.
Yes. Right up into his face. And then he screams and drops the rope.
Yeah, that's coming up. "No, Stephen, no, pull the rope." And there he is, the nice demon. Then he screams.
Ah!
This is actually kind of an homage, I think, to that old ad where the guy is sitting in the chair and the music is blowing everything over his shoulder. I really think that. I think he did that on purpose. Anyway.
That's pretty awesome. I know what
It
you're
was a
talking.
great ad.
Magnum.
So okay. So the rope is slack there, as you can see.
Yes.
And downstairs in the next slide. No, I'm sorry, the next slide. That's the utmost horror and terror from Craig T. Nelson meeting this giant demon. They come through the ceiling, Duiane and Carol Ann.
Yes.
So they do come through.
And they're covered in jelly and afterbirth.
Yeah, they're kind of messy, but they did come through.
They did.
So yeah, they grab him. He runs downstairs, runs down the creepy stairs. The next slide.
Yes.
And they get them, they pick them up, and they take them to a nice bathtub full of warm soapy water.
Of course.
To clean them up. Clean off that afterbirth, as you said.
It's what it looks like.
It does. It does look like afterbirth.
Uh,
And again, in TerrorVision, it's even there have even worse looking grotesque stuff that the monster spews all over everybody. Anyway, and turns everybody into, I should say. So that's coming up on Thursday. Anyway, so yeah, it gets him into the tub.
yes.
And she comes back eventually. A little bit of a wait. And then the daughter comes back.
Hi, Daddy.
And everyone's happy and crying. And
Yeah.
La 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 la
Yeah.
la 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 la.
But they should have maybe left that night.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious. Like it's like the next day they're moving out. So I mean, it's like they're not going to stay there much longer. Even, but one night was still too much.
Considering.
Yeah. So there she is.
Hi, Daddy.
She is so cute. Oh my God. What a doll.
That's an infamous line.
And there's Miss Tangy. I'm gonna let you say the line.
This house is clean.
You know what? I've been saying it wrong for years.
I mean, that's
I
how
have.
this.
And even Rory Penland said it wrong in his 800 Voices show.
How did you say it?
We were saying, this house is clear.
Clear. It's clean though, right?
Clear. But no, you are correct. I watched it this week and I was like, oh my God, I've been saying that wrong. He's been saying that wrong. This house is clean, she says. Yeah. But I always thought it was this house is clear. And with her accent, it sounded like clear. Because she does like a Southern accent. So I had it wrong all these years. And so did Rory Penland.
Well, goodness. I'm sorry.
So yeah, next day they're moving. They're moving
Just
out.
like that. Boom. Got a 4,000 square foot house. It's all out on the lawn overnight. Boom.
It's out on the lawn overnight. They've got it all boxed up. I mean, it takes me a week to pack everything. And she's oblivious. You know, she doesn't remember anything that happened. She's got a creepy ass doll.
Done with it.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
And everything's back to normal, right? Right?
Not so much.
So the mom, you know, puts him down. He's talking to his boss. He's saying, "Look, I'm leaving. That's it."
Yeah.
So he's gone. She's taking I thought so much when I saw this movie, the first time I saw this movie, that something was going to happen in this tub.
Right? But
Like hot, like super scalding water or something. The spirits were going to mess with her in the tub. Anyway, she takes a nice hot bath. Oh, that's the clown is gone.
yes.
Where's the clown? Where's my clown?
missing?
The clown who usually throws his coat over.
Exactly.
Oh, that was the one thing I couldn't understand about the earlier in the film. I mean, when the first storm hit and they was looking out of the creepy tree, close the curtains. The father didn't even close the curtains. He's like, well, let me teach you how to. This is when my Wi-Fi went out. Let me teach you how to count. Seconds between thunder and lightning. And like, close the curtain. Just close the damn curtain. So anyway, there he is. Yeah, and this is one of the first incidents where we started to get evil clowns.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
And he's such an evil clown.
Yes. This actually kind of started the phenomena, I think. The Joker, of course, is an evil clown. But this is a different kind of, because this is a nice clown up until a certain point, then he becomes an evil clown and drags him under the bed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you've got Pennywise. And all of a sudden you've got, Killjoy. You've got all these other evil clowns that are popping up everywhere. So now there's a huge phenomena in America, or all over the planet, I guess, where a lot of people just don't like clowns. They think they're creepy.
They are kind of creepy.
They're in a like a top 10. These things scare me. Whoa, hey, we were talking about Jobeth's panties. Oh, there they are.
Now that's because the ghosts are trying to prevent her from
So Hazzard went back to the previous slide.
They put her in a moving room box.
Yeah, well, again, the ghosts are getting frisky with her. They're sending her up the walls. She's going up the walls, and yes, they did have one of those revolving room sets to do this, obviously. Yeah. And she's on the ceiling. She's dancing on the ceiling, man. She cannot get out of that mess. Eventually, yeah, she's able to get to the floor somehow and get to the door of the kids' room, and Barry. This is actually very important because Barry fights.
Yes, he fights.
Barry decides, I'm going to beat the crap out of this clown.
And he says, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
Pull his stuffing out. Barry was just a crybaby before, but now he's learning, I'm going to fight. And he beats up that clown. He tears out the stuffing, but the giant vagina from hell is about to open.
Oh, you're right. It does kind of look like a vajingo.
It does. It does. Well, first off, you got little tentacles coming out the doors, out the sides. And of course, I mean, it starts out innocent enough, but again, it just gets nastier and nastier as this scene goes on. And Jobeth can't get through the skeleton guy at the puppet, Bunraku puppet guy at the door.
He says, you bastard!
Damn you! So she goes outside where it's raining, and of course, there's a pool just dug. So she slips, of course, and falls into the pool.
Yes. And
it's a bad pool.
Not a good pool.
It's a really bad pool. Full of dead bodies. A coffin pops up with another dead body.
False.
She actually manages to get to a place where she can get pulled up by her neighbors. Tentacles coming out of vaginas. Facebook user, yes, that's a whole thing in Japan. It's got a lot of that over there. Anyway. So yeah, it's the crazy neighbors who end up helping her get out of the pool, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, but that's it. Then they're like,
that's all they do. Yeah, then they leave. It's like, we're not helping you get out of that house. What are you, crazy? We're not going in there. So whoa, hey, damn. So the kids are just hanging on, and she's like, hey, kids, grab on, come on, it's time to get off the roller coaster.
I'm sorry.
Kathy Allen, don't worry. Major Hazzard and General Howitzer will
debrief us.
Thank you, Bob.
Bethy's traumatized. This movie traumatized her as a child.
Oh, really?
Of us.
I missed that, did I?
And Bob is being the gallant gentleman he is, and he's letting her know that we will be informed and safe. Thanks to you.
There it is.
That vagina.
There's the vagina. Come on, tell me that. Come on. Seriously.
It's like a big gaping vajingo with tentacles.
That's the first time I've ever heard it called vajingo. That sounds like a game like Plinko. Okay, let's play vajingo.
We're gonna play vajingo.
Let's play some vajingo.
You better watch it. She say, Bethy, you don't want to get put in jail again.
So, yeah, everybody's dangling feet. Come on, grab hands, kids. Let's do it. Let's get out of here.
One flimsy wicker headboard, all the weight getting sucked into the.
Yeah, that was the thing. Was how did that headboard get replaced, or how did that headboard get replaced so fast?
They just took it out of the closet.
guess they had a spare headboard hanging around somewhere, and it was the same wicker headboard.
But everything but the clown. That's what I was.
So they get out of there. They're like, okay, let's get out of the house. We got to start making our way downstairs. Let's go. Come on, kids. And of course, it's not going to be easy. He comes home. What the hell?
That's right.
His boss, Mr. Teague, brought him. He's saying, what the hell?
And then
That's
Mr.
the next slide. There he is. That's all the peach tea I got. Yeah, Teague is like, what?
Right.
So, yeah, there's like bodies popping up out of the ground now. They're everywhere.
Which doesn't fall in line with the Reverend Kane stuff later on down the line. Does it?
Well, if that's the physical bodies of the ghosts that he's wrangled, that he's gotten up.
Oh,
again, they moved the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies. Then yeah, he's controlling those bodies.
Okay.
Trying to get them to stop getting out of the house.
All right.
So it makes sense to me. Sorry. So yeah, they're just popping up all over the place.
Ah. Creepy. And
Creepy lady. That's the Reverend's wife, I guess.
Oh,
or maybe it's the Reverend.
it could be.
Maybe he just like to dress up on the weekends, you know.
Oh, I thought
Pearls,
he in the closet door.
All right. So even the kitchen, and we know the kitchen's active, you know, from the chairs and all that. So yeah, naturally there's going to be a coffin coming up in the kitchen. Why did you go that? Why did you go that route? And here it is. You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
You left the bodies, didn't you?
And this was the actor that I was mentioning earlier when we were doing Return of the Living Dead. He was actually in the Return of the Living Dead as well.
Is he the mortuary guy or the crematorium guy?
No, he's the actual guy at the supply house that tells the guy, "Hey, why don't you come on downstairs? I'll show you."
Oh, that's what it is. That's
yeah.
Okay.
You know that movie Line of the Living Dead? Yeah, that was based on a true story.
Okay,
yeah, that guy. He's the one that cremates himself.
Oh, I'll have to rewatch that movie too.
So, yeah, we had fun with Julio on that one. So yeah, the dog's in the car already. The car's ready. Let's go. Let's get in the car. Get the hell out of here. So she gets in. Come on, honey. Let's go. I'm not traumatized.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth on the floor. I'm fine. Yes, Fred. Rock back and forth. It'll make everything fine. Come on, get the key. I can't believe they threw that cliche in here.
Right. This isn't the scene where there's not a bunch of power tools coming at them, are there?
No, not that I know of.
Not in this one. I'm confusing it with a scene from a different movie then.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood. I mean, you know, like hydrants are blowing up and there's fire coming out of the ground. And
yeah,
and their house, of course, is, you know, in the process of crumbling into oblivion.
Going to explode on itself.
Disappearing right? Disappearing into another void. So yeah, he's trying to get the right keys. And again, Dana shows up, their daughter.
Oh yeah.
And her friend drops her off just in time. How convenient.
Right.
And she's like, ah, ah. She's freaking out.
What's
happening? and Teague is like, what's happening? What the hell? So they grab her into the car somehow. When I was watching, I was like, did she get in the car? But she's in the car later, so I guess so.
Yeah.
And there's a huge explosion there, like a gas thing. I don't know. Just knocks everybody off their feet. And then the house just kind of disappears.
It's not there anymore.
It crumbles in on itself.
Yep.
And he got all dusty somehow here at this.
He's all dumb.
He got like really dusty. A lot of baking powder on him. Don't stand too close to a house that's crumpling in on itself because you'll get all messed up. You'll get dusty. Because he was relatively clean when, Steve told him, hey.
Yeah.
You know, you moved the headstones, but you left the bodies.
Well, construction zone, a high construction zone with no windfall like fencing or anything. Oh, you're right. What is it? It's Cuesta Verde, right?
Well, again, because of the U after the C, it
What is it?
could be Cuesta. But I'm thinking if it's a Spanish, I'm thinking it's Siesta Verde. But you would think it would be Q-U-E-S-T-A if it was Cuesta.
Please tell us or send.
So in the comments, if you're watching this, in the comments, put the proper pronunciation for us. Because we're having a little problem here figuring it out. So they leave Cuesta Verde or Siesta Verde or whatever the hell they call it.
Called.
Yeah, we're getting a Cuesta from Joe. He's saying Cuesta. Yeah, Cuesta. Yeah, they're all choosing your side. So where are they going? Howard Johnson's?
Oh gosh, the distraught look in the children's eyes.
They're going to Hojo. No, they look relieved. I mean, they're finally away from that damn place. Cuesta Verde. Thank you, Julio. Glad I didn't bet on that one. Nah, they're going to Holiday Inn, damn it. Forget Motel 6. Holiday Inn, good rooms, good price.
Back
Always
in the
clean.
game was really something.
Great set, bruv. I have no idea what that means. And Doctor's Fantasy and Friends. They're welcoming Dr. Fantasy and their friends, whoever the hell that is. I'm not sure if that's a nod to somebody, but anyway. So yeah, they check in. Cuesta. Thank you, Joe. Again.
There's so many. It's everybody.
Two votes for that from you. Okay, we got it.
Everyone's on the same tip in the car.
And he pulls the TV out. That's the last gag of the film. He pulls the TV out and leaves it on the front doorstep there.
That's
it.
Exit.
La 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 la
Here, once more. La 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 la.
James Karen, that's his name, the actor that was in the other movie that played Mr. Teague.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
So there it is.
Thanks for having me on, General.
Sonny Landham as the big Indian guy that's helping to build the pool.
Oh, geez.
So I'm glad you guys can see me because I'm still seeing a black
You're
box
there.
here.
You're there.
Good.
You look great, General.
Thank you. I feel great. So yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, we always have a good time with you, Ruby Rae. And again, we'll have you on again soon. We'll do another Stephen King film or do another something
Cool.
that you're good with. So yeah, it'll happen. We try to get you on once a month or once every 6 weeks at the latest.
Thank
So
you.
we'll see what. I've got a list somewhere that I've already made. What's coming up? You'll be on again soon.
Oh, thank you. It's always
and thank you, Major Hazzard.
Yes, of course. Yes, and
For
Ruby,
keeping
we
it all
always
together, even
want
when my
you.
Wi-Fi explodes.
That's okay. Ruby, if there's any movies or training films, as it were, that you're passionate about, let us know. We will do a show for you.
Yes,
right? Yes.
I will.
Let's
Yeah,
do
it always
it.
helps if you tell me what films you really dig and what you're really
Yeah.
into. And again, we know you're really into Stephen King. So anything Stephen King, we're going to bring you in. That's for sure. But again, in cases like this, when this film is one of your faves as well, yeah, we'll definitely bring you back as well. You're one of our favorite guests.
Oh, you're
Oh my
sweet.
gosh. You
One of my
can't go
favorite-
wrong with Ruby. Seriously.
Can't go
You're
wrong
good
with
for business, Ruby. You're good. Your face is good for business. When your face is on the screen, people tune in. If I'm scrolling on something, I see your face, I stop.
We like
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
You're crazy.
why did the never mind. Bitching in the briefing room. That's what we'll call it every time you come on. Bitching in the briefing room.
Bitching in the briefing room.
You guys are crazy. Thanks for
Love
having me.
it.
We're cray cray, just like that
Cray
house.
cray with the vajayjay. We're cray cray with the vajayjay.
What was that game again? All right. So y'all take care and keep an eye out for those big monsters and ghosts and such.